Hello children, I hope you are all healthy and strong. Welcome to this special English hour. Here every day we will learn something new in a fun and interesting way. Are you ready to have fun? Okay, then let's get started. Children, now I would like to ask you a few questions. Let us share our thoughts and ideas. Children, can you tell me how was your first experience when you tried to learn your cycle? I'm sure it wasn't easy. Many of us fell down while trying to learn the cycle. Many of us scraped our knees as well. But did that stop us from learning the cycle? No, we continued learning till we finally learned how to ride the cycle, right? Okay, now can you tell me what has been your experience when you work really hard? Sometimes you score well, but sometimes you don't. But does that mean you stop giving exams? That's not an option, right? We always try our best to work hard and to do well. And that is what matters most, that we must try and try till we succeed or even till we learn something. So children, today I would like to ask you, is it easy to climb a slope? It's not, right? Just like learning a cycle and giving an exam and scoring well requires a lot of hard work, even climbing up a slope is not easy. At first, it may seem a little easy, but as you move upwards, it gets steep and very difficult. Sometimes you even think of quitting, but the only motivation that you have is that you want to reach the top, right? So, by working hard and by having patience, we can definitely succeed. Children, it is very important that no matter what struggle we are going through, we must always have faith in ourselves, belief in ourselves, and work hard to overcome the problem or the situation that we are facing. We must not lose heart because that is what's most important. Life will always bring struggles, but what is important is how well we put up a fight. Children, while learning a language, it is very important that we keep learning new words. Now, I would like to share with you a few new words. Please listen to me carefully and note them down in your notebook. We will come across these words in the lesson that we'll be reading today. The first word is gnarled, gnarled, gnarled. The second word is decayed, decayed, decayed. The third word is mingled, mingled, mingled. The fourth word is pneumonia, pneumonia, pneumonia. The fifth word is whisper, whisper, whisper. Children, we will be reading a very interesting lesson today. If you have a textbook, please open to page number 67. We will be reading the lesson, The Last Leaf. As I read, please Point to the words like this. If you don't have a textbook, please see your TV screens and listen to me carefully. Look out for the words we just noted earlier. The last leaf. In the poorer parts of New York, there was a colony where many struggling artists lived. Among them were Sue and Johnsy. They had come to New York from different parts of the United States. When they met, they found that they shared the same interest and they became friends. They shared a flat and set up a joint studio, trying to earn a living through art. In New York City, there was a colony where many struggling artists lived. Sue and Johnsy also came from different parts of America and lived in the same colony. When they met each other, they had many things in common, and that's how they became good friends. They set up a studio together and tried to earn their living through art. Johnsy was small, thin, and not very strong. After spending a few months in New York, she became ill with pneumonia. In those days, it was not easy to cure pneumonia patients. Though Sue looked after her well, Johnsy showed no signs of improvement. One day, the doctor told Sue that Johnsy had one chance in 10. And that chance is for her to want to live, he said. Your little lady has made up her mind that she is not going to get well. He told Sue that medicines alone did not help if the patient did not wish to live. Johnsy was small, thin, and very weak. When she came to New York, she got pneumonia and fell very ill. Though Sue took great care of her, Johnsy's health showed no improvement. One day, the doctor called Sue and informed her that Johnsy's health was not in good shape. She only had 1 in 10 chance to survive. And this chance was if Johnsy herself wants to live. The doctor felt that Johnsy had made up her mind that she is not going to improve in health. That day, Johnsy just lay in bed without making any sound or movement. First, Sue thought that she had fallen asleep, but then she noticed that Johnsy was looking out of the window and was counting something again and again in a very low voice, almost a whisper. Sue too looked out of the window, but there was nothing to see. Only an old ivy vine gnarled and decayed at the roots, climbed halfway up the brick wall. The cold breath of autumn had taken away most of the leaves. Only the skeleton branches were left, clinging to the bricks. That night, Sue thought Johnsy was fast asleep, but when she looked at her closely, she saw that Johnsy was looking out of the window and saying something in whispers. She was saying something very softly. When Sue looked out of the window, she just saw an old creeper that had climbed up the wall. The creeper had decayed because of the cold and winter. Only its skeleton was left. "What is it, dear?" asked Sue. "6," said Johnsy. "They are falling faster now. 3 days ago, there were almost 100. It made my head ache to count them, but now it's easy. There goes another one. There are only 5 left now." "5 what, dear?" "Leaves on the ivy vine. When the last one falls, I must go too. I've known that for 3 days. Didn't the doctor tell you?" When Sue asked Johnsy what she was doing, Johnsy said that she was counting the leaves on the creeper. First, the creeper had lots of leaves, but now there were hardly 6 left. And as they spoke, one more fell off. Johnsy told Sue that along with the leaves, she would also go. When the last leaf drops, Johnsy would breathe her last. Johnsy asked Sue, "Didn't the doctor tell you?" "Oh, I never heard of such nonsense," said Sue. "What have old ivy leaves to do with your getting well? And you used to love that wine so." "Don't be silly. The doctor said that you had excellent chances of getting well. Take some broth now and let me get back to my work." But Johnsy just kept looking out of the window. "There goes another. No, I don't want any broth. That leaves just 4. I want to see the last one fall before it gets dark. Then I'll go too." Sue tells Johnsy that the doctor said she had excellent chances of recovering, and it was just nonsense that Johnsy thought that she would not survive. Sue asked Johnsy to have some broth and said that she would go back to work. Johnsy did not want to have the broth. She was only looking at the 4 leaves left on the creeper. She kept telling herself that with the last leaf, she too would go. "Johnsy," said Sue, "will you promise me to keep your eyes closed and not look out of the window until I am done working? I must hand those drawings in tomorrow. I need the light. Otherwise, I would have closed the window. I don't want you to keep looking at those silly ivy leaves." "Tell me as soon as you have finished," said Johnsy, closing her eyes, "because I want to see the last one fall." "Try to sleep," said Sue. "I must call Berman up to be my model for the old man that I am drawing. I'll not be gone a minute." Sue told Johnsy not to keep looking out of the window at the creeper and its last leaves. She asked her to close her eyes and go to sleep. Sue said that had she not had the drawings to complete, she would have closed the window. Johnsy only told her that once she finishes her work, she should tell her before closing the window so that she can see the leaves before she goes to sleep finally. Sue tells Johnsy that she has some work and so would be stepping out of the house just for a minute. Old Berman was a painter who lived on the ground floor, but he was a failure in art. For 40 years he had wielded the brush, but had not made any money. He had been always about to paint a masterpiece, but had never yet begun it. For several years he had only made a few paintings. He earned a little by serving as a model to the young artists in the colony, who could not afford other models. He always talked of his coming masterpiece. Sue told Berman about Jonesy's fancy. Old Berman was shocked that anyone could have such idiotic imaginings. What? He cried. Are there people in the world foolish enough to die because of leaves dropping from a vine? I have not heard of such a thing. Why did you allow this thought to enter her brain? Sue had gone downstairs to get Berman, an old man, to be the model for her painting. Berman himself was a painter. For 40 years he had been painting. But he had lived in the same place. He had made very few paintings over the years and had been able to earn very little money. He always talked about starting a masterpiece, but never started it off. That day, when Sue told him about what Johnsy was thinking, his only reply was, "How can someone have such idiotic imaginings? How can one think that they would die if the leaves of the ivy creeper fall?" He asked Sue how she could let such a thought get into Johnsy's head. "She is very ill and weak," said Sue. "The fever has made her mind full of fancies. This place is not good for Miss Johnsy. Some day I'll paint a masterpiece and we shall all go away." "Yes," said Berman. Johnsy was sleeping when the two went upstairs. Sue showed Berman the ivy vine that Johnsy saw through the window. They looked at each other for a moment without speaking and then began their work. Outside, a cold rain was falling continuously, mingled with snow. Sue closed the window. Next morning, when Sue woke up, she found that Johnsy was staring at the closed window again with dull, wide open eyes. "Open the window, I want to see," she ordered. Sue obeyed. But lo! Even after the rain and the fierce wind that blew throughout the night, there yet stood against the brick wall one ivy leaf. It was the last on the vine, still dark green near its stem, but with its edges tinted with yellow. It hung bravely from a branch some 20 feet above the ground. Berman and Sue made their way to the studio. Sue showed Berman the ivy creeper that Johnsy looked at from the window. They both looked at each other and then got to work. It was very cold that night. It was raining and also there was snow. Sue closed the window at night. Next morning, when Johnsy was awake, she asked Sue to open the window. And when she opened the window, Johnsy saw that on the creeper there was still one leaf left. "It is the last one," said Johnsy. "I thought it would surely fall during the night. I heard the wind. It will fall today, and I shall die at the same time." Johnsy was preparing herself for the last journey that one makes alone. The feeling was very strong within her. The ties of Sue's friendship and other things on earth became loose one by one. The day wore away, but even through the twilight, they could see the lone ivy leaf clinging to its stem against the wall. At night, again, the wind raged and the rain poured. Next day, when it was light enough, Johnsy asked Sue to open the window. The ivy leaf was still there. Johnsy saw that it was the last leaf. She thought to herself that today, for sure, this leaf too would go, and I would leave the earth with it. Johnsy started feeling detached from everything, Sue's friendship and all the other worldly things. At night, once again, it rained and it snowed. They closed the window. Next morning, when Johnsy woke up, she once again asked Sue to open the window, but the leaf was still on the creeper. Johnsy lay for a long time, looking at it. Then she called Sue. "Sue, dear," she said, "I've been a bad girl. Something has made a last leaf stay there to show me how wicked I was. It is a sin to want to die." After that, she was ready to take the broth and milk that Sue brought her. She wanted to sit up in bed. "Someday, I hope to paint the Bay of Naples." Mr. Berman downstairs was now ill with pneumonia. The sweeper had found him lying helpless in his room in very wet clothes and shoes. He also found some scattered brushes and a palette with green and yellow colors mixed on it. 2 days later, Mr. Berman died in a hospital. The last ivy leaf was still there on the wall. It never fluttered or moved when the wind blew. It was Berman's masterpiece. He had painted it there that night when the last leaf had fallen. Adapted from The Last Leaf by O. Henry. Johnsy looks at the last leaf left on the creeper, and she has a thought. She tells Sue that it was wrong on her part to want to die. Something made the last leaf stay, and this is what made her realize that her wanting to die was a sin. Johnsy gets ready to have broth and milk. She tells Sue that one day she would want to paint the Bay of Naples. Once again, Johnsy is hopeful that she will get better soon and will be fit like before. Children, I hope you all enjoyed today's session. I hope you will share this story, The Last Leaf, with your friends and family. Children, till we meet next time, please take care. Bye bye and stay safe.